All right, fellas, how's it going out there? How you doing today? Welcome. This is Goodwood University. We're talking about coaching. We're talking about your sexual health. We're talking about you getting better. And this is what we do for all the guys out there who need help. We take the time to give you the information that you need that you can use right away. And by the way, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and I'm a men's performance coach with Goodwood. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about something that affects every one of us, and that's that stress. I mean, and it's whoo, is it getting hotter out here? Is it getting hotter where you're just getting more stress in your life? Because that's is what's happening with a lot of guys. Welcome to the show. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Of course, you see the number up there. You can call in. We have the call-in number now. So if you want some direct questions, go ahead and hit me up. But as we always do, we just go ahead and hop into a topic just to give you some thought processes so you can have a better sexual health life. And when we're talking about that stress, oh man, today, every day, but today, this month for me is insane, incredible because we're talking about graduations and birthdays, and Mother's Day and Father's Day. So for me, the hit parade goes my nephew's prom, and then Mother's Day, and then my father's birthday, and then my birthday, and a graduation in between there, a graduation party. Then is Father's Day, my sister's birthday. I mean, it's just too many celebrations going on at the same time. It just should be a wonderful thing. But sometimes that can be stressful too. Oh, and if you could go ahead and leave your name and where you're representing in the comment section, let's go ahead and talk to each other. Let me know what questions you have in that chat. And today we're going to be talking about that stress because it is a killer, if you will. It's something that we all deal with, but there's certain things you need to know so that you can deal with it in a way that allows you to have a better sexual performance. So you don't have to worry about stuff. You know, that's what we're talking about today. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. We do want to get this information out. Go ahead and check. Just see. I just made some changes, and yeah, all my cords. Why did it drop out? Okay, we're back. Oh, okay. Sorry for that snafu there, guys. New technology. Trying to figure out this new technology, but we got you. We got you. We're back in talking about cortisol. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We had technical difficulties. Thanks, Derek, for pointing out that we just cut out for some amazingly unknown reason that shall not happen again. So yes, today we're talking about that cortisol, the reason why you need to take that out of your life. We're going to dive deep into it. Once again, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, the men's performance coach with Goodwood. Let's get back into it. So when we're talking about cortisol, the hormone that's going to cause this, that can wreak that havoc because we're constantly stressed. We either have acute stress, a chronic stress, or we have that fight or flight. When we're all of that brings up that cortisol, and to combat cortisol, really it starts with sleep. I mean, cortisol turns you on, sleep turns you off, like literally. Yeah. Hopefully you're not stressed while you're sleeping. I always recommend guys think of nice stuff before you fall asleep, because what you think of right before you fall asleep is what you're going to think of throughout the night. So you want to make sure you're have positive thoughts. Meditation. I often practice micro meditation. It's just a lot of times people think you have to sit there for a long time, et cetera, et cetera. Really, what you're trying to do is just let your body, let your mind just focus in on your breath. You're just breathing in and out. You have to do it anyway. If you're focusing just on that, it'll actually calm a lot of your brain waves down so that you can function better. Doing that constantly will help you in terms of controlling your cortisol, and use positive distractions. What are positive distractions? Positive distractions are basically, hobbies, music, things that can relax you, a good book. Something that's not positive is any electronics. It's too much distraction. It'll, some things will pop up and you'll go from like, oh, I'm feeling good, to like something, you scroll down and something pisses you off, and now you're increasing that cortisol. So you want to be very careful with that type of situation. Okay. And also your lifestyle. Obviously, a healthy diet is going to make a huge difference in terms of what you need to pay attention to, in terms of how your body reacts. A lot of people don't think that what you put inside of your body actually stresses your body. Your body has to go through a whole process of breaking down whatever you eat and passing it on. The healthier you're eating, the less it has to break down. The less processed it is, the less it has to break down. It knows exactly what to do. Also, just regular stress management, just things that you need to pay attention to. Pay attention to it. One of the things that really gets to people is, of course, financial stress. And, one of the things I often say is like, you have to appreciate things more. If you appreciate what you already have, you're not interested in other things. So a lot of times we get into this thing of like, oh, I have to get this, I have to get that. And we adding stress into our lives. You don't want to do that, obviously. And also regular exercise. Obviously, that's going to help when you exercise. And just like micro meditation, you can do micro exercises. Just jump up, do some quick jumping jacks. Whenever you get stressed, getting some movement in will help your brain. It's like, okay, everything's okay. It's circulating. Because, when it comes to even the social connection, we need to spend more time with the people. Turn the phones off, turn off the electronics, and spend more time with people. That actually just goes ahead and lowers your stress levels. And obviously, we have the herbs and everything that can help you out. When we're talking about the ashwagandha, rhodiola, omega-3s, magnesium, there are a bunch of different herbs out there. Ashwagandha is something that I recommend. If you go to givegoodwood.com, we have ashwagandha on there. By the way, that's our sponsor, Goodwood. GiveGoodwood.com. You can go there and get your aphrodisiacs, your coaching, your ashwagandha, and more. Okay. But yeah, all of these products, ashwagandha is adaptogenic. That helps reduce cortisol. Same thing with magnesium. Magnesium actually helps support healthy stress response and sleep. And as I mentioned before, that sleep is vital. When we're talking about stress, you got to get that sleep in. And of course, when it comes to that relationship stress, If I was having people calling in for relationship stress, the phone would be lit up because that is a huge topic. Drizzle, drizzle. Take care of yourself, King. Drizzle, drizzle. um, because it can mess with your life in a lot of different ways if you don't get it right. And one of the number one things is just to have that communication, especially if we're talking about sexual issues. A lot of times the women that we're dealing with, they don't know what we know. They don't, they're just like, hey, we're supposed to be having sex. And if you're stressed out, you're not going to be able to perform at the level that you want to. And if you're stressed out and you have sex and it doesn't work out, then you may end up, being stressed the next time that you're having sex, and that leads to a downward spiral. So you want to be avoiding that. And you want to compromise, you want to find quality time. There are a bunch of different ways that you can relieve stress when you're dealing with relationships. And of course, work stress. Oh my God. Who hasn't dealt with that work stress? That's what it's there for. You're there to handle stress one way or another. So, some of the things you can do is just set boundaries in terms of like, when I get off on work, I'm off on work. Some people are like, well, I'm paying you, so I should be able to call you day or night. Unless they're actually paying you day and night, don't work day and night. That job's going to leave and your stress is going to be there. So you don't want that. You need to take your breaks. You need to get support from people. All of these things make a difference when you're trying to get better. So, yeah, all of these things make a huge difference when you're trying to get yourself better. It all comes down to, some quick fixes, that you can use. Like I said before, just remember, you're not as stressed as you really are. It's not life. Your Netflix bill isn't life threatening. It may seem like it, but it's not. Your body is going to react just like it's an immediate threat, like anything else. So your body doesn't know the difference between perceived threat or real threat. Your mind can't see. You have to rely on eyeballs and everything else, all the connectors outside of your mind, but it's the one that's controlling everything. So make sure you're trying to stay in a constant state of getting rid of stress. that's where you need to be. And of course, getting that sleep is going to help, and a micro meditation, as I mentioned before. So that's what we're talking about, guys, in terms of getting so much better with your health. We talked about that financial stress, and so it's really just coming down to mastering your cortisol, mastering your stress. So now we understand what the cortisol is. We got the solutions for it. It's time to put it into action, and that's the part that really counts. So yeah, there we go, guys. Wanted to talk about that. Make sure we got that out there because we're coming to a time of the year. I often talk about the difference between that macro and the micro. When it comes, this applies to stress as well. It applies to your patterns, but it applies to stress as well, because sometimes people don't pay attention to, like, when you're transitioning from spring to summer, some people have a problem with, well, it's like I gained some weight, so I'm stressed because I don't want to step out with the clothes that I had from last year. Something that, I'm going to say small, that's actually sort of big if you're worried about your weight and your clothes. So you have to pay attention to that. You got kids who were, they were at school, now they're at home, or you got to, actually pay for a summer camp, or there's all these different stressors that you need to pay attention to. The better you have your life sort of planned out, the easier it is to deal with those different levels of stress. But of course, I want to hear from you. So let me go ahead and put the phone number up. You want to call in, ask me any questions pertaining to any level of your sexual health, sexual performance, any issues that you have, go ahead and hit me up right now, because it's always important that you talk through this stuff. One of the things that I noticed after coaching guys and talking to them is that we always compartmentalize our stress. It's not a good thing. Causes more problems. And it's a good reason why that happens, but it always leads to other problems. And when I say it's a good reason, as men, it's a good thing to be able to compartmentalize stress, because if you have something going on in your brain, but you have another danger over here, you need to be able to focus on this danger. So compartmentalizing, like, okay, I'll get back to that. That's a good thing. The issue becomes when you're compartmentalizing too many different things, and you're not letting, you're not getting the resolution. You're just holding on to that stress. Even though we don't think about it, it sits in the back of our minds. All right. Holy mama. Tips and tricks to deal with stress that stem from performance anxiety. All right, that's a great question, sir. Let me go ahead and break that down. So, what tends to happen, as I mentioned before, is that as you go, you're planning on you've had sex a couple of times that didn't work out the way that you wanted to. Let's say your performance wasn't there. What ends up happening is that you'll start thinking in terms of like, okay, this is going to happen again. And you're setting yourself up. So what ends up happening is she comes over, she takes her clothes off. You're like, oh, I should be erect now. I should have a heart on. I should, she gets into the bed. I should be erect. I should have a. You're actually overthinking, and you're actually causing the problem. So one of the things, and this happens a lot, and fortunately for a lot of guys, once you understand this concept, this can go away. When she coming over, don't think about it. What happened before you had performance anxiety, before things didn't work out, you were having sex when you were younger, your erections were just there. Okay, the erections just there, you're ready to go. You didn't have to think about it. And that's what happened. So that's the first thing. Don't overthink it. Just let it come naturally. The second thing is, I always say, foreplay is for men, and that's an important thing. So we think about it. You're not actually going around touching people and holding people, hugging people the way that you would do, like back in the day when we had villages and stuff. Now everybody's like, I'm looking down at my phone. People, as guys, we don't we're not supposed to be running around hugging a whole bunch of different women. And even when we talk, we're giving ourselves dap or just a handshake, is at the very least with a hug is a hand in the middle. Like, we got the half hug thing going on there. So we as men don't get a lot of physical contact. And what ends up happening is that you don't get that testosterone boost. You don't get that feeling. And so for when you're getting into the mood with your woman and everything like that, it's important that you recognize that you need to take your time. You have other parts of your body that you can use to induce foreplay. Hands are the everywhere machine. You can use your hands, touch everywhere. You can give each other massages. I mean, really, a lot of people just tend to think, and it actually, for women, it's a different experience because they can be stressed and have sex and it's a release. For men, it's a different experience because we can be stressed, want to have sex, but we have remembered that, if it's not moving, if it's not functioning correctly, if it's not into it, literally, it's not going to work. So those are some of the things to look out for when you're talking about that. So there we go, guys. Please do me a favor and go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, all that good stuff. We are going to be back next time. We'll be talking about actually, I did miss. We had an issue yesterday. The show was supposed to be coming on 7 p.m. It actually came on, unfortunately, where our timing got off, and came on at 7 a.m. So we didn't have the show last night, but we were talking about penis enlargement, and so that's a hot topic. So we'll be getting back to that probably tomorrow. Are there any other questions, guys? Go ahead, hit me up in the chat. Also, of course, you can go to givegoodwood.com and check out Goodwood, the products, Goodwood Advanced, Goodwood Coaching, all of that good stuff. But for right now, if everything is good, then we're going to go ahead and sign off. Until next time, guys, appreciate your time. This is Uncle B saying, get your game up and go hard. Peace out. Oh, hold on. We got a call coming in. Let's see.
Call from Dan Solomon. To accept, 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Okay. Caller, can you hear me?
Hey, Uncle B, how you can hear me?
Yes. Hey, how you doing today, sir?
Listen, I'm doing fine, man. I got you. I'm listening, right? Girlfriend's like, you have sex more often because my mind's not in it or there anymore, man. I'm back in the world of haptics, period, because that's been a long time. What can I do to get on track? Need some help.
Okay. Okay. It sounds like a partly a relationship type of situation. Is that creeping into it?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
man, my ex-wife was toxic. She was toxic as toxic can be. I'm over now, but it's not quite back in the game.
Mm,
Sex.
okay.
No.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. So that tends to happen, when you're uh uh when you're with someone that's toxic and then you're trying to go to the next person. It's going to take, literally it's going to take some time to get out of that phase, because the unfortunate thing about being in a toxic relationship, you pick up some of the toxic habits without recognizing it. And when I say the toxic habits, it could be like, she was yelling at you, and so you're now tense when someone's communicating with you. Is like, is this person about to yell at me? And so you're still dealing with the effects of toxicity. And that's the whole thing. When people say
Mm.
something's toxic, for real, when you touch something that's toxic, it changes your body. That's the reason why it's called
Yeah.
toxic. That's why I hate that whole phrase of male toxicity, because it's like, yeah, you're saying if you touch me, then you're going to start dying. That doesn't make any sense. But it's really not
That's not right.
the physical side of it. It's the mental side of it that is the issue. So one of the things that I would highly recommend, obviously, if you want to check out therapy, that's always good. But one of the things that I often tell guys is that you need to write stuff down. Just write down how you feel about this situation right now. And I know that sounds sort of weird. I'm not even saying type it. I'm saying use your actual hand, cursive or
Right.
print.
The writing is more important. It's
Mhm.
writing more emotionally than it is. Writing kind of gets more age that we're writing.
Yeah. I mean, you're writing so that you can just let the
Okay.
thought processes out. That's really what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, because I
Okay.
typically, you have a call, you're calling to me, you're talking to me, but a lot of times guys don't have that conversation piece. They don't do that, and as guys, we typically don't communicate well. And when I say communicate well, we don't over communicate like women tend to do. Sometimes we under communicate, especially when it comes to like relationships and stuff. But when you're writing stuff out, you are seeing yourself do something. And so when you're writing it out, you go back and read it. It's like, oh, okay, I can now recognize the pattern. If it's still sitting in your head, then it's just going to keep swirling. It's going to keep swirling. And that's one of the reasons why you may still have this, because it's swirling. You never let it out. And once you write it down, you're letting it out in a way that, that works. Makes sense?
Well, I like that option, man. Something, man. 'Cause again, can I get intimate? I'm like, I just can't. I get so hard, but I can't get full hard because my mind's not there yet, man. Great girl, but I'm just not there, man. It's a good suggestion. I appreciate for that.
Yeah. Go ahead, write that sucker down, and get your. And just remember, if you do not allow your ex to have any more real estate in your mind than necessary at all. At all. She has done her damage. Let her go. Write her out of your life. Literally write her out of your life. So that's my
Wow.
recommendation for you, sir.
Well, Uncle B, man, thank you for the call, man. Thanks for taking my call, man. Appreciate it. Man.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. That's what I love doing,
Appreciate it, man.
guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Mhm. Yeah, guys. Woo. That's what I love doing. I love having these conversations. If this is not the topic for you, if you have any thought processes, you want to talk to me about something, that's the reason why we got the call line. So please hop on whenever you can. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go ahead and talk about that penis enlargement, penis enhancement, something that every guy needs to know how to do so that you don't end up with penis shrinkage. Yeah, you do not end up with penis shrinkage. So once again, thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always, get your game up and go hard. Peace out.